Hello class, welcome to Pre-Algebra Lesson 2-4, which is all about taxes, tips, markup, and discounts. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to solve problems involving taxes, tips, markup, and discounts. Let's quickly review what some of these words mean. So tax is something that can vary state by state. Like here in Minnesota, like food is not taxed. If you buy it like from a grocery store or something, but if you go to a restaurant, there's a tax, there's an additional fee put on there. Or clothes in Minnesota are not taxed, but like gas is taxed, or buying like other things. It just depends on what it is. Oops, sorry, I hit a key on my laptop. It depends on what it is. It may or may not be taxed. And what taxed means is that you are going to pay an additional fee on top of what is the listed, or what the listed price is, okay? So that's what tax is. It's where you pay a certain percentage on top of the listed amount, okay? Then let's talk about tips. So tips in our area, the most frequent or common spot that you'll see tips is when you go out to a restaurant and you tip the waitress or waiter. It's where you look at your dollar amount, and then based on the service, you judge, like, I'm going to give them X percentage tip on top of the amount. So it's another thing that's added on. So taxes and tips, things that get added on. And then talking about markup. So let's talk about stores. Like, let's think about how like Target buys, let's say, like Nintendo Switch games, okay? So they buy them for a certain dollar amount. Let's say they buy them for $40, okay? And then in order for Target to make money, they're going to charge you more than $40 to buy that. And you're going to pay that additional money in order to have the convenience of buying it from Target, okay? So stores will always mark up their prices so that way they can have a business, they can run. So that's what markup is. So taxes, tips, and markup are all things that get added on to the total amount, or added on to the price, so that way you get a new total amount that you're paying. Okay, discounts are the one that is works in your favor. It's where a store wants you to buy something, or somewhere wants you to buy something. So they say, hey, if you buy this, we'll give you 10% off the listed amount. So then you would get to figure out what is that 10%, and you get to take it off of the total amount, okay? So taxes, tips, markup, you add on. Discount, you subtract off. But the process is pretty much the same for all of them. Okay, so let's practice first a taxes example. So we want to figure out what is the total price after tax. So we have the cost of a sled. So let's say it's winter and it's time to go sledding. The cost of the sled is $42.26. So what you do is you take the $42.26 and you say, I'm going to multiply that by my tax. And you always change the percent to a decimal. Okay, I don't care which thing you're doing here, you're always going to change it to a decimal. So 7.6% as a decimal, I move it to the left, and so that's going to be 0.076. So 42.26 times 0.076 is going to be 3.21176. Now, since we're talking about money means that we're only going to look at the first two decimal places. That's where we would cut it off. So I want to figure out, would the first number that gets cut off, does that change this number right here? It's a 1, so it doesn't. So the amount of tax on this sled is $3.21. But I'm not looking just for the tax, I'm looking for the total price. So I say 42.26 plus 321. And if I do 42.26 plus 3.21, I get a total of $45.47. So 45.47. And that would be my answer. Okay, so what I did was I took the price, I multiplied it by the percentage, and then I added that amount back onto the original. I'm going to show you a quick shortcut that you can use for both tax and tip, because tip, fun fact, gets calculated the same way as what we just did. But let me show you a quick way to do this. So if you're doing something where you're looking for a total price, okay, so I'm looking for the total price. That means that I'm going to pay 100% of what I started with plus that 7.6%. So instead of multiplying by 0.076, if I multiply by 1.076, so if I do 42.26 times 1.076, I'm left with 45.47. So you can see that is a slightly faster way to calculate tax, but you always have to read the problem carefully. If you're looking for total, that works. If the question was how much tax is added on, you would stop right here. Okay, so that's the tax. This is the total. So be sure to carefully read the problem that you're looking at, so that way you don't lose points because you calculated for the wrong thing. All right, now I want you to figure out what is the total cost of this Nintendo Switch after we have to apply a 6.8% tax. Good luck. All right, for this problem, hopefully you ended up at $337.94. I did show you both ways with work. If you have questions about either of those methods, please be sure to ask for some help, okay? Because this is not going away. All right, now let's look at example 2 where we're talking about tip. The directions say to find the amount of the tip and the total once the tip is added. Okay, so since I want to know what the tip is, I have to do it the slightly longer way. I'm going to say 88.42 times 18% tip would be 0.18. So 0.18. If I do 88.42 times 0.18, I get 1592. So that's my tip. So I would say 1592 is my tip. And then the way I'd find my totals, I would say 88.42 plus 1592 equals, so 88.42 plus 15.92 is I just cleared my calculator. 104.34, or a $104.34 total. So that's how much money you would be leaving at the restaurant to cover your meal and the tip. Right? So hopefully you see the connection. Hopefully you see the similarities between tax and tip. And pretty soon you'll see the comparison. It's the same as markup. Okay? But before we move on to markup, I want you to figure out the total amount. That should say find the total amount. Once the tip is added, terrible grammar. My apologies. Anyways, the cost of the meal is $104.73 with a 22% tip. How much is your total? Good luck. All right. Hopefully you ended up at the total cost of $127.77. I did the shortcut method. If you wanted to do the two-step method, if you still ended up at that same answer, you are golden. You are good to go. If you did not end up at that answer, please be sure to ask for some help. Let's look at example 3, markup. Okay, so we have a store buys a CD for $14.50 and has a markup of 25%. So I would say 0.25. And I want to know what the new selling price is. So if I do 14.5 times 0.25, I get that the markup is $3.63. So I would say 14.50 plus 363 would give me a total of $18.13. If I wanted to do it the faster method, I could do that as well. I could say, I'll do it in a different color for you, 1450 times 1.25. And I got the 1.25 by saying 25% is 0.25, and then changing this to a 1 just does that addition step for me. So 14.5 times 1.25 gives me 18.125, which rounds to 18.13. So that is the new selling price. So then I would be done with that. Okay, if you have questions, please be sure to ask for some help. Let's look at this question. A store buys a pen for 95 cents and has a markup of 80%. What is the new selling price? Go ahead and try this one on your own. Good luck. All right, hopefully you said 95 cents times, and then I did the shortcut way, 1.8 equals 1.71. So $1.71 is the new selling price of the pen. Last type of example here, we are talking about a store's having a 15% sale on Fitbit Charge 5. The original price of the Fitbit Charge 5 is $179.95. What is the discounted price? So I can do something that's very similar to what I've been doing, where I take the price, $179.95, times the discount, the percentage, and that is $26.99 once I round. And then I can take my total, $179.95 minus $26.99. So $179.95 minus $26.99 equals $152.96. So that means that you would get to buy the Fitbit for $26.99 cheaper, which is $152.96. I'm going to show you another shortcut method for discount. And the way that you do that is you say $179.95 times, and then you're going to use parentheses. You're going to say 1, because that's the total price. Remember, 1 represents like 100%. So you'd say 1 minus 0.15. And if you type that into your calculator all in one step, you are going to get to the correct answer of $152.96. So those are the two different ways that you can do discount. It's just really important for you to remember that discount is the one where the price goes down. It's where you get to save money. Okay? Why don't you go ahead and check out this problem? A store is having a 20% sale on an Apple Watch 7. The original price of the Apple Watch 7 is $399. What is the discounted price? Good luck. All right, with this problem, hopefully, no matter which way you did it, whether you did it the two-step method or the one-step method, you should have ended up at $319.20. If you have any questions about this problem or anything else from this video, please be sure to ask for some help. I'm happy to help you. I hope you have a great day.